Good morning, children. Welcome to Commerce class. So, in the last class, we discussed about the classification of business activities. Business activities are classified under two broad headings: industry and commerce. We finished what is industry by understanding how our industry is classified based on the activity and based on size. We understood the different classification of industries. Today, we shall discuss about what is commerce. Under industry, we understood that it refers to all economic activities which are connected with production of goods which are in one form into another form, that is transformation of inputs into outputs. Okay, for any activity which is related to the production comes under industry. When we learn commerce, it refers to all those economic activities sorry which are necessary for bringing the goods from the place of producers to the place of the consumers. Okay, according to Ewell Thomas, commercial operations deal with buying and selling of goods, the exchange of commodities, and the contribution of the finished products. See, what does commerce deal with? It deals with what? Buying and selling of goods. First thing, it can be from the producer to the wholesaler, or wholesaler to the retailer, or retailer to the consumer also. So anything which is the buying and selling, it involves. Next is exchanging of commodities. Buying and selling will happen only when money takes a place as a medium of exchange. So exchange of the commodities are there, money for commodity. Next is contribution of finished products. What is the contribution of the finished product to the society? That is also there. Commerce does not includes not only trade but also the services. Like, see, when these economic activities take place, the activities between the production point to the consumption point, what are all the activities involved here? Not only trade means what? Buying and selling of goods. It involves transportation of the goods, it involves warehousing, storing of the goods, it involves packaging of the goods. Okay, it involves insurance, taking insurance for the goods as well as for the people who are in transit, banking services, and apart from that, for promoting the product or making the product saleable, sales promotion is also included. So all these you learn under the heading of auxiliaries of trade. What do you call it as? Auxiliaries of trade or aids of trade. Aids means which all helps in trade. Let us first understand what is trade. What is trade? It denotes what? Buying and selling of goods and services. Underline that the term trade is used to denote what? Buying and selling. It can be goods or it can be services also. So it helps the consumers, the producers as well as the consumers. Okay, because it brings the produced goods to the consumers. Okay, thereby one who buys, here the activity of buying and selling, you call it as trade. The people who are involved in this trade are called as traders. How are they called as? Traders. A person who buys and sells, how do you call him? Trader. Underline that. A trader can be a middleman between whom? The producer and the consumer. When you classify trade, you can classify trade as internal trade, external trade. Okay, like internal trade, that which happens within a country. External trade, that which happens between the countries. Next is wholesale trade, retail trade. Wholesale trade means buying in large quantities from the producer, or in bulk quantities you buy and sell it to the retailer. Retail trade means buying in small quantities and selling in small quantities. Okay, so these are the two classifications of trade. Next auxiliaries to trade is transportation. Transportation, all of us know what is the meaning of transportation. That is the movement of goods. It can be goods, it can be men, it can be material. Okay, from one place to another, you call it as transportation. Okay, the medium which moves men and material from one place to another is called as transport. It can be any type of medium. It can be air transport, it can be water transport, surface transport, anything it can be. So selling of the goods produced. See, normally production is at one place, but consumption is at different place. So it is practically not possible to to sell the goods at the place of the production itself. See, for example, rice is grown where? Only in the agricultural pastoral lands. But where is the consumption? But the consumption is throughout the world. So the produced rice at one place should be transported to the place of consumption, which helps in movement of the goods from one place to another. Transportation helps in the movement of goods from one place to another. We'll be learning about all these topics in depth in one particular chapter. Okay. Now we are just having an introduction of what is trade, what is transportation, next what is banking. Banking. See, nowadays it is practically not at all possible to work without banks. Okay, banks have taken a very predominant role in our society, not only for business, even for a layman. The role of bank is very, very important. So for business, nowadays it is very, very difficult without banks. Banks, they help in the smooth functioning of the business. To start a business, okay, banks provide adequate money, because definitely all the business people who wanted to start business, they will not have enough money for from their pocket. So what do they have, where do they have to depend upon? They have to depend upon the bankers. And not only that, funds are not required not only at the time of starting the business, in between the process of business. When all, if you are a businessman, at what time all do you need money? Definitely to purchase raw materials you want money, and to meet out your daily expenditures you want money. You might be selling on credit, so goods have gone out. Okay, so money will come to you only after 3 months. So in during that time you want money for circulation into the business. So for all these purposes, money is required. So necessary funds are obtained from where? From the banks only. Thus banks helps business activities to overcome the problem of finance. Underline that. So the hindrance of finance is overcome by what? The functioning of bankers. Insurance next. See, we know that business is full of risk and uncertainties. Uncertainties, something which you do not expect. Okay, unexpected happenings, you call it as uncertainties. So business as such, it has various types of risk. Now a businessman is exposed to risk. When any risk happens, who sustains the loss? The businessman has to sustain the loss. But because of the operation of the insurance companies, the risk of loss, anyway loss is likely to happen, but the risk is likely to happen, but the loss which is arising out of the risk can be covered. What are the types of risk that businessmen face? One thing is the risk of theft will be there. The risk of fire accidents will be there. In the factory buildings, machines and furnitures are there. All these are exposed to theft and risk. And sometimes the goods might be lost during the transit or during the movement of goods from one place to another. And it might be because of accidents, the damages may happen because of accidents, and there will be loss of damages to the commodities that are being produced. So there will be risk associated with accidents and occupational hazards also. Occupational hazards means hazards means what? The problems or the accidents which occurs in the workplace. So all these are likely to happen in business. So insurance provides a protection in such cases. So insurance companies, what do? See, we cannot prevent accidents. Accidents are likely to occur at any time. But the loss happening because of that accident can be covered by whom? By the insurance company. The insurance what do we have to do in turn? We need to take a policy whereby we need to pay the premium amount which is being fixed by the insurance company. By paying the premium amount regularly, any loss happening because of theft or burglary or damage or accidents of any nature, okay, the compensation will be given to the insured by the insurance company. About this also we'll be learning in depth in a separate chapter. Next is warehousing. See, normally the goods that are produced will not be consumed immediately. See, rice, all the agricultural food products are seasonal in nature. Okay, and is it consumed the month itself, the during the same season of production? Definitely no. Rice is produced only during a particular season in a year, but the consumption of rice is throughout the year. Now, how are we to just store the grains and all? We need adequate warehouses for storing these commodities, where it could be released at the month after month, okay, without creating any shortages. Otherwise, what will happen? Goods are produced in one season. Normally, we have the good amount of rice production or cereals and pulses production during the month of Jan and February, but the consumption of these items are there throughout the year. Just imagine, if these, are we using rice, dal, wheat, everything throughout the year? We are using. How is it possible? Because of the functioning of the warehouses. These produced goods are stored in warehouses properly, okay, and the commodities are released for consumption intermittently, okay, with proper intervals of time. By doing this, what are the advantages? We are getting the supply of commodities throughout the year. Not only that, price is also under control. Okay, just because there is continuous supply of commodities, the price of the commodities also does not shoot up very high. Now, the problem of storing is one of the important auxiliaries of trade, because not all commodities require the same type of storage facilities. If it is dry grains, you need dry storages. There are certain commodities which are perishable in nature. Such commodities require cold storages. There are certain commodities which require huge amount of space, okay, where there should not be dampness at all, where it has to be stored at a very high temperature, rather the very high with a good amount of dryness. Such commodities should be stored in that particular warehousing only. So warehouses, special arrangements are made for the storage of goods. For what? For prevention of loss and damage. The goods should not get deteriorated. So the warehouses are designed accordingly to store the different types of commodities. With this, we are finishing the auxiliaries of trade. Now we shall learn a comparative study about what is industry, commerce and trade. A small comparison, it is a 5-mark answer. See children, in commerce, we have the whole of the almost 33 chapters we have almost 8 to 9 differentiations, that is comparison. I want all of you to write this differentiation particularly very neatly in your classwork notebooks, because out of this 8 you are sure to get 1 or 2. Okay, 2 you are sure, 100% you are sure to get. So when we keep on learning these topics, and when we segregate and write it separately in a notebook, it is easy for us to learn also. Okay, and you are sure of getting 7 marks from this differentiation. Now let us have a comparative analysis of what is industry, commerce and trade. Now let us see what is industry. What is industry? The meaning is the extraction, reproduction, conversion, processing and construction of useful products. Industry is what? It is involved, the extraction work is there. It involves reproduction of, where we call it as genetic industries, conversion of goods in one form to another form, manufacturing industry, processing industry and construction and useful other products. What is commerce? These are activities. What does it involve? It involves the distribution of goods and services. Commerce involves what? The goods are only distributed. Goods and services are distributed. Again, what is trade? It just merely means the purchase and sale of goods and services. Okay. Trade is a part of commerce. Commerce involves trade, banking, insurance, transportation, all those, warehousing, all those are involved under commerce. Next is, what is the scope of industry? It consists of all the activities involving what? Conversion of materials and semi-finished goods into finished goods. It can be, the raw materials can be converted into semi-finished goods or finished goods. The semi-finished goods can be converted into finished goods also. Under commerce, it comprises of what? It comprises of trade, auxiliaries to trade. Now only I told you what are the auxiliaries of trade. What does trade comprise of? Trade comprises of exchanging of goods and services. You just buy and sell the goods and services. Now let us look into the what is the capital requirement under in an industry. For industry, generally large amount of capital is required. You require a huge amount of capital. For commerce, need for capital is comparatively less than industry. For industry, we need huge capital. Less than that we need for commerce, but trade requires a small capital for what? To just maintain the stock and to grant credit. Okay, so we don't require as much money as needed for industry and commerce, but we want money to maintain the level of stock that we need to maintain. Next is risk. Where is risk more associated with? Risk is involved usually in industries on a higher level. So risk involved is usually very high where in industry, but relatively it is less in commerce. It is not we don't have as high risk as we see in industry, but risk is very less in case of trading. Next is a side. Industry represents the supply side of the goods and services. See, industry means what? Production of goods and services. So, what is involved here? Demand or supply? It involves the supply side. It represents the supply side of the goods and services. Next is commerce. It represents demand side of the goods and services. Commerce. It sees that the goods, it involves the trade, warehousing, banking. So, it creates the demand for the commodities. Next, whereas the trade involves, it is both buying and selling of goods and services. So, it represents both the demand side and supply side of the product. Utility creation. Who are the people who create or give shape for the product? It is the industry. It is a manufacturer who gives a shape and utility for the product. So, he creates form utility by changing the form or shape of material. The same topic we learnt under economics last class, if I remember, the types of utilities. Form utility, time utility, place utility. Who is in charge of doing it? The industrial sector does the creation of utilities. Next is under commerce. With respect to utility creation, they create place utility. Goods are moving from one place to the other place, from the producer's point to the consumer's point. Who does this work? Who creates place utility for the product? It is the commerce which creates the place utility for the product. Next is utility creation with respect to trade. It creates possession utility through exchange. So, ultimately, trade is buying and selling of goods. The goods in the hands of the trader is of very less utility, but the same good, if it is in the hands of the consumer, the utility is on the higher side. This means possession utility. The person who possesses the product, okay, gains more utility. So, trade creates possession utility. How? Through the process of exchange. Now, let us have a small recap. The first point is, what is the meaning of industry, commerce and trade? Meaning of industry, it can be extraction, reproduction, conversion, processing and construction. Whereas commerce means it involves the distribution of goods and services. Whereas trade is what? Purchase and sale of goods. Scope of industry. It consists of all activities involving what? Conversion of materials in which is in one form into another form. Whereas commerce deals with what? Auxiliaries of trade. Whereas trade is just exchange of goods and services. How much amount of capital is needed for industry? Huge amount of capital is required. But for commerce, it needs capital. On a comparatively less capital is needed, whereas small capital is enough for starting a trade. Where is high risk involved? In industry, it involves huge amount of risk, a very high risk. But in commerce, relatively less risk is there in commerce. Lastly, relatively less risk is involved where? In trade also. When we talk of the demand side or supply side, industry refers to supply side of the goods and services, whereas commerce refers to the creation of demand for the product. It represents the demand side of the goods and services, whereas trade represents both the demand side and the supply side of the product. Next is utility creation. Who creates utility to the product? Form utility is created by what? The industry, because the industry is responsible for changing the goods which is in one form into another form. Whereas commerce, when you take, commerce creates place utility for a product because it is involved in transportation of the goods from one place to another place. So, what do we observe here? We observe place utility for a product, whereas trade creates possession utility for a product. The goods which are in the hands of one person moves to the hands of some other person who really requires that product. So, the person who possesses who has a product only gets utility. So, it creates what utility? Possession utility for the product. Through which process? Through the process of exchange. So, with this we are coming to the end of chapter 3. Chapter 3 is over, that is unit 1 is over, and you have objectives given here. I want you to mark the objectives. The industries which are engaged in extraction of iron ore, how do you call it? As extraction industries. Auxiliaries to trade is also called as what? Aids to trade. Next is production, which involves several stages of manufacturing the finished products. How do you call it? As processing industry. Several stages is required. Normally, high level of risk is involved where in case of industry. Commerce is mainly concerned with what? Connecting producers and the consumers. With this, we are finishing the 3rd chapter. And I think for the question answers, you have the study material. You can learn from that. Thank you, children. Have a good day. Sorry, before that, I need to give you the homework, is it? I want you to write compare industry, commerce and trade. Okay. Compare industry, commerce and trade. Write a short note on analytical industry, genetic industry, construction industry. That is long answer 2 and 3. That's all. Okay. Have a good day, children. Bye-bye.